more and more often we see the absolute necessary for human skills, people skills, they're often called, emotional intelligence skills. That's what I refer to them as. They basically are the skills that enable us to work together when emotions are arising. And generally when two people or more come together, a lot of emotions are in the mix. So recently a client of mine and I were working on conflict resolution, conflict management. In essence, they wanted to know how to deal with conflict without folding like a deck of cards, because what they found was that their legs would come out from underneath them and they'd walk away from the situation having agreed when they really disagreed, not feeling good about themselves, being a little bit resentful, and never really speaking their mind or having things go their way. And so there was a gnawing, brewing sensation beneath them. So when we think about conflict resolution and we look underneath to, well, what are the skills I need in emotional intelligence? There's a few of them. And the first one is emotional self-awareness and impulse control. We have to be able to manage ourselves in conflict. And we have to be able to manage our emotions, because if they get the better of us, we don't think very clearly or objectively. We also don't listen very well. And you may know this about yourself, and you may know this about other people, is that when emotions are heightening, our listening tools don't work very well. When we approach conflict and we use our impulse control, which is reserving knee-jerk reactions and responses, what we end up doing is we end up creating some space for conversation. Now, the emotionally intelligent individual knows to use empathy first, to give the space for the other person to share their thoughts, their feelings, their perspective, their experiences, their hopes, their desires, their fears, everything. Because when that individual gets the opportunity to share all of that uninterrupted with your attention, with your probing and your questions and your encouragement for them to get it all out, they feel seen and heard. And what happens is then their listening tools turn on because their emotions start to subside. So the skills in emotional intelligence are used to help the other person relax, to calm, to have confidence, to know that this is a safe space for us to have dialogue about our disagreement. And when the listening tools turn on, then it's time to use assertiveness, which is simply us sharing our thoughts and our feelings and our experiences and our ideas and our hopes and our fears. And when we do that, we end up putting a lot of information in the pool between us. And that allows us to actually start coming up with some really good solutions, because now we've got all of the things related to the problem out. So now we can start meticulously using our IQ to decide what's best for me, what's best for you, what's best for us. And suddenly we're moving towards solutions that neither one of us potentially thought of in the first place.